Turns out you've been ironing your shirts all wrong.
Hold it right there, wrinkle-ridden mortals. There's only one true way to iron, and it involves a pizza box.
Ironing man, no, not the pizza box.
But it's revolutionary. Crisp corners, cheesy aroma.
Ignore him, I'll show you the proper way to iron, and it's not the way most other videos teach you. And certainly not the way Ironing Man suggests. I'm Ben, and I explore the mind, the look, and the way that maketh great men. So let's iron out the details, because the difference between a sharp and a sloppy look can be one pass of the iron. I am not going to waste your time. Here's a high-level overview of how to iron a shirt in under 60 seconds. First things first, check your shirt label to make sure you can iron it. At a minimum, you'll need a flat, hot piece of metal. I use an iron. And a flat, heat-resistant surface. I use an ironing board. Plug in and preheat your iron. Throw your shirt on the flat surface. Pass the iron over every square inch of your shirt. You'll start with the yoke, that rectangle fabric on your shoulders like a cape. Then sleeves, then back, then front, and finish with the collar. Few videos get this order right, so I'll go over the reasons for it in a moment. Voila! It's that easy. If you think you've got the order down, drop yoke first in the comments. When I mentioned the look that maketh a great man, a crisp shirt is part of that.
Crisp? I love that word, which gives me an idea to see if lettuce gets more crispy with an iron.
Huh? Which gives me an idea that there are some things you should do to iron smarter. Before you iron, ask 3 quick questions to save time and avoid disasters. First, do you even need to iron? I've never seen a shirt that doesn't look better ironed. And even if your shirt says wrinkle-free or non-iron, it still probably needs to be ironed from time to time. But I'm gonna go through 4 hacks at the end of this video to iron a shirt without an iron that just might save the day.
No iron? I don't believe it.
Don't worry, we're gonna test them and compare.
You're walking on thin ice, science man. Very crispy thin ice, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't. But it sounds like some sort of benign threat. Second, does your shirt have stains? Ironing a stain will make it harder or even impossible to get out. Inspect the shirt, and if you find a stain, use this stain remover pen and wash again. This pen is incredibly convenient, so I link to it below. And if your shirts aren't bright white anymore, use white Revive packets in the wash before you iron. Third, does your shirt have heat limitations? There's nothing worse than setting the iron down and watching the fabric melt around the plate. Shirts usually have a label on the right or left side seam that gives some information about ironing. Sometimes the labels will give instruction like low or medium heat. That tells you what to set the iron at. In general, pure cotton and linen can be on the highest temperature. Wool is a little lower. Fabric blends like cotton and polyester or wool and polyester are middle temperature. And silk, nylon, and other synthetic fabrics need to be set on the lowest heat. But keep in mind, you can't just let the iron sit on the garment at that heat. You have to keep it moving. If you see an iron symbol with an X through it, that means you can't iron that garment.
Oh, I thought it meant to move the iron in an X pattern.
No. If you see an X, try some of the non-iron methods I talk about later.
Non-iron? Sounds like a threat to me.
What is your superpower anyways?
Whenever I say the word crispin, wrinkles flee in terror.
Huh. I'd like to see that someday, preferably on laundry instead of lettuce. Now that we're ironing smarter, let's make sure you have the supplies you need. If you want your shirts as sharp as your presence, you'll need these 4 things before you start. 1, a flat heat-resistant surface. I recommend this ironing board. You'll notice it doesn't have any of the junk on the rectangle end. That's important. This end is actually the most efficient end to iron a dress shirt on. My wife bought ours and I had to gently remove that garbage. 2, a clean hot piece of metal. If you're wondering the best iron for dress shirts, you're in luck. The most important thing about an iron is being able to set the temperature right. This is the newer model of the one I have. It makes it easy to know how to set the temperature for each fabric. You'll notice it isn't fancy, it doesn't need to be. It still does a great job.
Did you know?
Avoid a pot filled with boiling water. Although it might work in a pinch, it comes with other issues.
Dang! How did you know I was gonna recommend that?
3, you'll need a spray bottle. Damp shirts iron best, so even if you pulled your shirt straight out of the dryer early, you'll still need a spray bottle. I recommend this one, which has a continuous mist and gives a great even dampness. You might be thinking, well, my iron has a steam feature. Oh, that moldy cavity that spits out smelly water onto your clean clothes? Yeah, I'd avoid that and stick with the spray bottle. Plus, a spray bottle allows you to control the steam and heat separately. You can use any type of clean water, but distilled is best.
I like sparkling water and bottled tears.
I didn't know you were such a softie.
I get emotional when I see wrinkled shirts. They yearn for the embrace of a hot iron. Ah!
4th, you'll need some starch. There's nothing more dignified than a sharp collar, cuffs, and creases. Starch is the secret to all of these. It also helps your shirt resist wrinkles throughout the day. This is the starch substitute I'm using. It's scent-free if you like to maintain a unified fragrance like I do with Coach for Men. You can use starch on the whole garment instead of water if you like a stiff shirt. I typically use it on the 3 C's: cuffs, collars, and creases.
You know I'm developing a line of starches.
Sounds risky.
I have high hopes for my pizza box starch.
Really risky. I put links to all these supplies below, except the pizza box starch. A dress shirt is one of the hardest things to iron, but I'm going to break down the way great men iron into simple steps. Most importantly, make sure you go in the right order. There is an optimal order to iron a dress shirt, and I'm surprised at how few videos know it.
Yeah, me too. So what's the order?
The order is the yoke, the sleeves, the back, the front, and the collar.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
The right order helps you avoid re-wrinkling parts of the shirt that you've already ironed. Also, we iron the most important parts of the shirt last, which are the front and the collar. But let's start at the start. Make sure you have your supplies, your board is set up, your iron is plugged in, and the temperature is set right. Before you iron, make it a habit to test if the iron is clean. I iron a bit on the board just to make sure there isn't any grime that could come off on my shirt. This habit will save you while traveling. If your kids iron weird stuff, or if you ever have Ironing Man over for lunch and he wants lettuce.
No, I was wrong about the lettuce. It just goes mushy. But have you ever had toast made on an iron? Delicious.
Better yet, never have him over, period.
Was it the lettuce?
Apply heat to the garment by moving the iron over it. Be careful how long you leave the iron in one place and spray everything before the iron touches it. The water does 2 things. 1, it keeps you from burning the garment. And 2, it increases the effectiveness of the iron. Also, remember the iron is hot and never leave it unattended or attached to light chains. Always iron the yoke first. The yoke is the piece of fabric that lays over the back of your shoulders. Just hold the shirt backwards by the shoulders and lay the yoke flat. Make sure the fabric underneath is out of the way. Spray it down to make sure it's damp. Then pass the iron over the fabric from the outside to the middle. This direction is important to avoid ironing weird creases on the edges. We iron the yoke first because it's the part of the garment that's most likely to wrinkle other parts of the garment when ironing. Yoke first, like a superhero cape, comes first.
Capes are the best.
I thought you'd like that metaphor.
But it's kind of a small cape. I like mine better.
Yours is a shirt tied around your neck.
It's not any shirt. It's superpower ironed with syrup instead of starch.
Bless your heart, Ironing Man. Now back to reality and on to the next step. Okay, let's move on to the sleeves. Unbutton the sleeve, including the gauntlet button, that little button on the arm. Lay the sleeve flat using the bottom seam as a guide. Iron the arm first so you know where the crease should fall along the top. Here's where I use starch for the first time to help make the crease more permanent. Iron the cuff last, just lay it flat and push from the outside in on both sides. Again, this prevents weird creases on the edges, which are even worse on parts of the garments that may also have an inner lining like the cuff. Use some more starch here to stiffen up the cuff. Stiff cuffs look nice in general, but also come in handy if you need to roll your sleeves. For French cuff shirts, fold the cuff to make sure the buttonholes line up and iron the creases. Use more starch, you'll notice I do on every crease. Then fold in half and iron another crease. Again, more starch. This last crease really sets you apart as a man who knows a good pressed shirt.
Ha! It's way quicker to pop that cuff in the toaster.
Shockingly dangerous, but surprisingly on brand for you. Who are you anyways?
I'm just a regular guy who stuck his damn sleeve in a toaster and zip! Ironing Man was born.
So that's the backstory. See kids, let that be a lesson to you. Don't iron with a toaster. And don't forget the other sleeve before we continue. Onto the back. We already ironed part of the back with the yolk, but we need to finish it. This is where the bottom of the ironing board comes in handy. Rather than drape the shirt over the pointy end, which requires us to move the shirt 3 or 4 times, drape the shirt over the flat end and you'll find you only need to move it twice. Pass the iron over everything, moving from the outside in. Move the garment to get to the other half and iron that as well. No need for starch here. Most of us don't like a stiff shirt stabbing us in the back. We're almost done as we move on to the front. Start with the button side facing down and iron the button stand first. You'll notice this saves you time later trying to iron around every button. I like to give the button stand a little starch, particularly at the top, to hold the collar up. Then flip the button front body right side up and iron it flat. You'll notice we're using the square end of the board again because we can get to the full panel without moving the shirt. I like to add a little starch to the top center to strengthen the collar and the part of the shirt that shows under a suit. Switch to the placket side and iron it as well. I also give the placket side some starch to hold the collar up. Notice I iron the pocket similar to the cuffs from outside in. A little extra starch on the edge of the pocket is always a nice touch.
Crispin! Boom! Perfectly ironed.
I had already ironed that.
No, you didn't. I did.
I don't trust men in capes.
Finally, we iron the collar last because it's the most important. Make sure to remove your collar stays if you haven't already. You should probably remove them before washing in general. Iron the underside first from outside to the middle, just like the cuffs and the pocket. This is where I use the most starch. I don't like a flabby collar. Now flip the collar and iron the face, again from outside in. Fold the collar over at the inseam and iron the crease straight. Here's another crease, so what do we use? Say it with me, more starch.
More syrup.
Starch.
Syrup.
Oh boy.
He's ironing clothes?
He learned it all by himself. Show him how well you do it, Gorgo.
Finish the collar by laying the shirt flat by the shoulders and buttoning the front. Give the shirt a nice neck fold and give it some more heat and starch. This fold is the final attack against flabby collar. You'll find it gives the shirt a nice angle back to the front, which helps it stand good and tall, even without a tie. I know I said the collar was the final step, but I'm going to include one more thing that's important, even if I'm the only one saying it. Why go through all that work if you're not going to store it properly? The best way to store a shirt is on a cedar hanger like this. I linked to these below. You'll see the shape at the top of the hanger. That keeps your collar nice and crisp. And the wood keeps your shirt dry, mold, and moth-free. If you're storing the shirt long term and you need to fold it, I have a technique for that which I share in our How to Fold a Shirt video. You might wonder why iron if you're going to fold anyways. The answer is you want the collar and front crisp at all times, even in storage. And the longer the wrinkles are there, the harder they are to get out. With a crisp shirt, you're well on your way that maketh great men. But why does an iron shirt matter? Just like making your bed every day, ironing your shirt shows discipline, self-mastery, and self-reliance. It's a modern masculine skill, even if you have to outsource it sometimes. And if you do outsource, send them this video so they'll get it just right.
Did you know I iron shirts as a service?
No, I didn't really know what you did.
Yes, I'm in quite high demand these days.
I bet. Where do you find your customers?
You know, the best place is forums where wives are angry at their husbands.
That makes sense. Life isn't always ideal. Sometimes you're on the road, in a rush, or your iron just decided to quit. Here are 4 ingenious ways to unwrinkle a shirt without an iron. Wear damp, ice and dryer, wrinkle release, and steamer. Let's put them to the test against a perfectly ironed shirt and see what actually works. Here's my first wrinkly shirt. I'm gonna dampen this shirt and then let it dry from the heat of my body. While this dries, let's move on to some other methods. Here's another identically wrinkled shirt. I'm going to take 3 ice cubes, toss them in the dryer with the shirt for 10 minutes on a standard heat.
You want the ultimate hack? Throw in 3 unopened cans of soda.
Wow, you're just full of good ideas, aren't you?
The fizz starts to release the wrinkles and crispin, the wrinkles are gone.
So's your dryer, and possibly your home insurance. While we're waiting for the dryer and ice cubes, I'll show you the next method. They call this wrinkle release spray. I've linked to it below. I'm just gonna follow the directions. Spray, smooth, and hang dry. Okay, let's give this a minute while we talk about the last method. Steaming a shirt is quicker than ironing, but a little bit more involved than the other de-wrinkling methods. All you need is a steamer and water, but you'll find that steam gloves come in handy. There are several varieties of gloves, but I like these best because the thumb allows you to move the garment easily. Oh, and use distilled water to avoid mineral buildup. Here's the last wrinkled shirt we'll use to compare the other methods. First, let the steamer warm up and then let out some steam to get rid of any stale water. Next, you pass the steam over all parts of the garment. Voila, the shirt is definitely less wrinkly without an iron. A steamer is a great tool, but my only caveat is to be careful steaming suit jackets. Many jackets have glued lining, and steaming can cause the glue in the fabric to pucker. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for.
Halt right there.
What?
My people tell me you're running some sort of non-ironing scheme.
No, I just showed them 4 ways to get a better looking shirt without an iron, and now we're gonna compare the results.
We have a confirmation. Code Cheeseball, Code Cheeseball.
First, let's look at the shirt I let dry while wearing. It definitely made a difference, surprisingly. Here's the before and after, which shows it's better than nothing. The chest is fairly wrinkle-free, but there are some new wrinkles on the arms. The collar and cuffs don't seem to have changed much, but may be good enough for an emergency. Second, here's the shirt that went into the dryer with ice cubes. Looking at the before and after, you can see some improvement. Is it better than just wearing it damp? I personally don't think it's much better, unless the idea of wearing it damp isn't appealing. And I will say the clanking of the ice in the dryer isn't pleasant. Third, the wrinkle release spray. The before and after definitely shows some improvement. In my opinion, this method worked better than the ice and dryer, but not as good as wearing it damp. The only way I'd use this stuff is if I wanted a quick solution without wearing a wet shirt. Fourth, here is the steamed shirt. The steamer did a decent job getting the wrinkles out. The before and after show the best improvement yet. I see some issues with the collar and cuffs, and some lines, particularly in the sleeves. But if you had just pulled the shirt out of storage that had been ironed, steaming would be all you need. Here's the side-by-side with all the previous methods. I think this is the clear winner so far. For the sake of competition, let's look at the iron shirt as well. Here's the shirt I meticulously and efficiently ironed and creased. As you can see, this is the results we want. While these iron-free methods are great for resourcefulness, the iron is king for that truly great look. Nothing beats the crispness, the sharp creases, and the overall polished look of a properly ironed shirt.
The cheese ball isn't cheesy. I repeat, the cheese ball isn't cheesy.
What does that even mean?
Oh, false alarm. Lucky your conclusions didn't require me to shut this video down.
Oh, with your crispin superpower?
Watch it, bub. I thought we were friends.
Not anymore, cheese ball. Gentlemen, you won't always be able to iron with perfect starch and such, but the way of a man is resourceful, and hopefully now you're aware of some other options you have besides ironing.
Code syrup. I repeat, code syrup.
Extraordinary men throughout history have understood the power of presentation with a solid shirt. It's not vanity. It's thoughtful consideration about your first impression. It's not clothes, it's your armor. It isn't a chore, it's a ritual of the mind, the look, and the way that maketh great men. This is your challenge. Iron your best shirt, post it on social media with hashtag #IronLikeAman and link to this video.
Crispin!
Come with us, sir!
Don't let Ironing Man and his sticky henchmen win. Complete the ironing challenge and help the world iron better. Thank you for watching. Your shirts are going to thank you for it. Hopefully I wasn't wrong about you learning something new from this video. Drop a comment if I was right or if I missed something that can make this video better. I'm formal today in my black wool made-to-measure suit and matching trousers. I've added some color with my light blue shirt paired with a navy light blue paisley pocket square in a reverse center fold. My watch pairs well with my black suit and matches the metal on my belt. My brown shoes match my belt and add a little bit of casualness to an otherwise formal look. Lastly, I have on my usual fragrance, Coach for Men. Check out this video if you'd like to fold the reverse center pocket square, or learn how to wear a tie clip with this video. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button to defeat Ironing Man. And most importantly, gentlemen, keep looking classy. I'll see you at the top.